Good evening and welcome to Fantastic Dimensions. This is session 4 of our Ravenloft mini-series using the Lamentations of the Flame Princess rule set. So we left off, you guys... Oops, hold on a second. I got some feedback here. That's my fault. There we go. So we left off, you guys were at the church and getting ready to make your departure to head to the castle itself. So, without further ado, I'll just hand it right over to you guys. I believe it was approaching midday, and you guys had one brief encounter in the morning with some Strahd zombies, which you guys made pretty quick work of thanks to the turning abilities of one of your clerics. So, midday, it's the 7 of you at the church with Father... what's his damn name? The father, anyway, and then Nunovich, and then of course there's Ismark and Irina are at the guest house down the road. What would you like to do? Don't all speak at once. All right, well, somebody has to speak. So,
like the plan. The plan was to we got all of our everybody got their provisions and stuff like that last time, right? And
yeah, you guys had stopped at the shop. You bought a bunch of stuff, spent a lot of your money,
and then we were literally just getting ready to take off, right? If I remember right.
If you're ready, yeah.
Well, are we heading straight up to the castle itself? There might be, that card reading. There might be something up near the dizzying heights, not necessarily the castle itself, maybe. Might be somewhere around the castle.
But either way, sounds like we must go up the mountain.
And we should probably, if we're going to be exploring and searching around the castle grounds, we should probably do so during the day. It doesn't seem like it would be a good idea to do much at night. What time of day is it currently?
It's approaching midday.
Okay.
Probably is about midday, actually, I think, because you guys did stop and shop and everything else. So, yeah. It's about noon.
I never much liked shopping. Let's go to the castle. Says peace.
Well, I mean, this is... how long will it take us to get up to the castle itself?
Ages if we carry on talking, she says, and starts walking.
With age comes wisdom, I say, and I follow after her.
Talking is one of the reasons why I left the military, and I follow as well.
You're bringing Steve and Arthur with you as well?
I'd definitely tell Steve to follow.
Oh, God. Dang it. Okay, I should have thought more about that. Yeah,
What's the matter, Alistair?
I'll bring him along.
Bringing Arthur along?
I'll bring Arthur along.
What about your dogs and your horse?
Yes, absolutely.
Horses. You have 2 horses, right?
Yeah. One horse, yeah. One horse is mine and one that Arthur is riding.
Ian, can you just give me a quick... How many bless points did Father Donovic bestow upon us when he cast bless on us? 4? Thank you.
Yep, it was 4 points, which you can use to alter, a roll. But you have to declare it before you roll the dice. So
that was Bless's caster level. What level is Father Donovic?
I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I do remember it was 4 points. It wasn't great. Is Bless supposed to have caster level added to it?
1d6 plus caster level.
Really? Let's see what level Father Donovic is. Yep, I rolled a 2, and he's level 2.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, it's a freebie. Are you complaining about a freebie?
Oh no, 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 not at all.
If you're not satisfied, you can always cast Bless yourself. You know, you're a cleric.
I mean, I could, but I'm not gonna.
I mean, you don't get.
They would be cumulative anyway, but. Or Alistair, if he wants to cast it as well. But
5 minutes into the game, and the GM tells you to go bless yourself.
yeah,
Starting us off good.
brilliant. What about Ismark and Irina? You pick them up on your way and bring them along too?
Well, they left to go settle in their guest house. Do we want to disturb them, or should we let them get back to their lives, whatever might remain?
They said they wouldn't come.
Togo is of the idea that they should come.
I don't believe we should bring the girl. If that's what this beast at the castle wants, I don't think we should be delivering her.
I agree with. I agree with Alistair.
Leave them behind. Fair enough. I do believe Ismark had said that if his sister was going, he was definitely going as well. He was not going to be leaving her side.
Yeah, that's what he said. It was a package deal.
I think last session I kept calling him I kept calling him something wrong anyway. His name is Ismark, not Iskmar. That's what I was calling him, Iskmar. That's Lloyd's fault. I kept thinking of Iskloft. Okay, so you're going to leave him behind. You're bringing the 2 horses. Did you say you're leaving the dogs behind or bringing them with you, Alistair?
Oh no, I'm definitely bringing the dogs.
Definitely bringing the dogs?
Yeah,
Okay.
the dogs are less, are more expendable than the horses or Arthur. But
What were their names?
give me a moment on the dogs' names. The horses' names are Cain and Abel.
Oh gosh.
Cain, Abel. What's your horse's name, Jeremy? You said it before, I know. But I can't remember what it was.
Samuel.
Samuel.
Okay, I got the dogs' names are Balthazar, Melchior, and Gaspar.
You son of a bitch.
Nice.
Balthazar I can spell. Melchior I think I can spell.
That's a great one. I like it.
What's the last name?
Gaspar.
Gaspar?
Yep.
Okay, got them all. I'm just keeping track. It's quite a good sized party then. So with your companions and animals, 7, 8, 9. There are 15 of you all together.
Holy shit.
Yeah, not bad at all. Would have been 17 if you brought the kids. Not that they're kids, but you know what I mean. Ismark and Irina. Okay. So you're gonna set out then on foot. Most of you, obviously, like 3 of you are on horseback, but and head southwest.
And Alistair will again offer his horse to Peace.
Well, thank you, Alistair. I'll take you up on that.
It's afternoon now. You don't mind riding in the afternoon, Pete?
Yeah. She climbs up onto the saddle and arranges her skirts.
Yeah, he'll help her up, and Alistair will then walk with his dogs. But he'll leave Arthur on the other horse for now.
So it's a cool autumn afternoon. The sky is eternally overcast anyway in Barovia. However, at this point in time, it's getting really. There's a lot of dark clouds around. Threatens of rain. You guys head you head southeast directly from the church until you get to the crossroad. You can head southwest then and kind of continue southwest to head out of the village itself, or the town, if you will. You will come pretty quickly. It's only about looks like about 700 feet or so until you come to the bridge which crosses over the river Ivlis, flowing clear as a blue winter sky through the valley. And as soon as you cross over that bridge, then you're right back into the Svellich Woods, trees massing on both sides of you. Extremely high. Can't even really see the tops of them with the mist that starts to gather once you get into the forest. However, the mist does not close in on you and circle around you as it did when you were first coming into Barovia, but it does still linger there up high in the trees. The tree trunks themselves practically touch on both sides of the road, making it very difficult to see through. And you get the smell of wet earth and leaves. But the woods otherwise are quiet as a grave. There's a certain tension in the air, though, like a scream that hasn't been released yet. You can feel it as the trees kind of encroach upon the road. And you continue. Eventually, the road will turn to the more to the west. Then it'll cut back up northwest again and come up close to the river till it continues west further. And then eventually, you will come to a fork in the road, which you know from your experiences this morning. You'll pass by the place where you were attacked by the zombies this morning. No sign of them remains. And the road forks off to the right, heading mostly north, which you know leads back to where the gypsy camp was this morning and last night. Or you can continue southwest. And at this point in time, when you've reached this fork now, the trees have kind of opened up and you've got relatively open ground then for a while. It's grassy, and there's a few trees here and there, but it's not you're not in the forest anymore. As you kind of continue southwest and then west for a little while, and then it starts to head north. And as it goes north, you're climbing in elevation constantly. And before too long, again, the trees encroach on both sides of the road, and you find yourselves on this winding road heading up through the woods, uphill all the way until eventually it turns again to the left and almost doubles back. And then it kind of angles a little bit more to the right, going almost due west again. The trees getting thicker and thicker. The fog getting a little bit closer. And as you make your way, it takes you a good couple of hours climbing constantly, trees surrounding you, before you come to any change in the scenery, which when you do reach a change, you come to a bridge, which let me just pull it up here. Actually, you're at the bottom of a waterfall. The waterfall is off onto your left. This is the waterfall that feeds into the River Ivlis. You don't see anything really much of interest here except for a stone bridge. Looking down at the river down below at the bottom of the falls, you reckon it's about a 1,000-foot drop from this point.
Does the bridge look like dilapidated in any way, or does it look pretty solid?
No, it's pretty solid. This is a really strong old stone bridge. Would your resident dwarf, Torgal, like to make an architecture roll?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Let's see what happens.
What sort of bridge?
Yep, that succeeds with a 5.
So it is man-made, but it is really strong work. It's quite old. You'd reckon, looking at it, it's over 500 years old.
The bridge should hold. I think for a man-made bridge, it's not bad. It's the fog that bothers me. It's thicker than my booby soup.
So does, looking down over the waterfall and discovering probably in the worst time ever that she's probably afraid of heights just a little bit, Ada's gonna back away and kind of say, so dizzying height, what does living rocks mean to any of you guys? I mean, if the rocks live, I don't know, that card. And she's kind of stepping back away from the bridge nervously.
There are some dwarven legends about beings of rock. Stories to scare children, mostly. It could also be referring to an illusion. You know, when you hold a jewel in the sun and then it makes lights. Maybe the water makes it seem like the rocks are moving. It could be anything. You know, human poetry is very hyperbolic.
Sure, but and she loses like her train of thought.
But your train of thought has set off Peace, and she's looking around to see if the light is playing over any of these rocks. Particularly, she's scanning around, seeing if she sees anything that could pass as living rocks.
You don't, but as you're standing here talking and looking around, the fog is starting to kind of creep down out of the treetops and starting to settle down around the road, shrouding it in places. And as you're standing here having this discussion, and the fog is settling down around the road which you're standing upon, it becomes impossible now to see the river down below. You can still hear the sound of the falls, but you can't see them anymore.
That somehow makes Ada calm down just a tiny bit.
Cuthbert he dismounts because it's not a covered bridge, right? Of course.
No, it's not. It's not.
So
it has like a low wall on each side of it, maybe like 2.5 feet high.
Yeah, so the horse could definitely see over the edge, and so Cuthbert hops down while you guys are talking and starts to lead his horse across the bridge.
Okay, and as you do so, actually I have to call a remission for 2 seconds. I gotta take care of something real fast. I'll be right back. Sorry to do that so early, lads. Be right back. Talk amongst yourselves as you're crossing the bridge before I throw one of you off.
I suggest you all dismount.
Well, he said he was only going to throw one of us off the bridge, so I suggest we nominate sacrifices.
How about
Who's got the straws?
the guy who ate human flesh? Or
Nah,
the guy...
he's the guy you want around because he knows the best cuts of meat. If all goes wrong,
Well, how long into the whenever you were stranded and needing to eat human flesh, how long before you made that decision? Was it
about 15 minutes?
You know,
Efficient.
we just left town.
Sorry, I think there's there's some joke that reference in there to something is like, oh no, we gotta we're stranded, we're gonna die, we're gonna have to eat each other. Okay, let's draw straws. Like, dude, it's been 5 minutes. We're just out of gas. Can't remember what it is now.
We have an entire wagon full of rations. Why are we drawing straws?
Yeah, my horse threw a shoe about 15 minutes out of town, and we started right for cannibalism.
It's all right because the dwarf always draws the short straw.
Nah.
Is it cannibalism if a human eats a dwarf?
I think it's just an appetizer, but yeah, still cannibalism.
Just a small snack.
Y'all are awful.
Tough, bitter meat. I don't think you'd find it agreeable.
Halfling is probably way more delicious.
Well marbled.
If you like peach fuzz.
That's fighting words.
I'm sorry, dwarf. You're just a bit gamey.
So it's like you're really gonna get insulted that people are saying that you wouldn't be good to eat.
Yeah,
And it's like, well, I'll have you know.
I'm insulted at the eating halfling comment.
I mean, the dwarf's at least been marinating for about 100 years.
Right, sorry about that. That required my immediate attention. So, did I miss anything? You guys are you crossing the bridge following him, or are you going to watch and see how he gets on first?
Now we're trying to figure out the logistics of eating dwarfs and halflings and the ethics and morality of that.
Ooh.
Anyway, so I'm gonna lead. I'm gonna lead Arthur's horse across, and I don't know if Peace needs help getting off of her horse. I will help her down.
Are you not going to lead me? Peace says, looking down at you.
And then he'll kind of nod to Arthur to let him know that he needs to get off his horse and start leading it, and he'll lead. Then Alistair will take hold of Peace's horse.
I'll follow close behind.
Yeah, Ada's gonna follow behind the people with the horses.
I guess Edith will walk beside her.
Miklos is going to give everybody at least a 20-foot, 30-foot head start.
The bridge in the image that I've just popped up is not the same bridge you're walking over at the moment, but it gives an idea as to how high up it is. As you're about halfway across the bridge, Cuthbert, you all hear and feel a low rumbling in the air. It almost pierces the atmosphere, and you can feel it lightly in your chest as it begins to build and build and gets louder, and you realize it's only thunder. And then it continues and it drops in pitch, and it continues for several seconds before fading away.
You'll feel that.
Pah, weather.
Is there any lightning or like storm clouds, or is it impossible to tell with the fog?
No, you can't see the sky now with the fog. You don't see any lightning yet.
Maybe they've found the cannons and they're trying to knock down the walls of this castle.
They?
So does Samuel seem spooked or anything like that?
No, actually, he does not. He seems confident and comfortable at the moment. Are you still riding, or are you walking him across?
No, I'm leading him leading him across.
But no, he's not pulling back. He's not resisting or anything at the moment.
And Cuthbert looks at his horse, with pride and admiration, because obviously he's not spooked easily, and continues kind of peering over the edge every so often to kind of remind himself how high up he is.
Alistair will kind of beckon one of his dogs to order one of his dogs to go forward a bit. We can't see too far down the bridge because of the mist, right?
Correct. You can see probably in any direction you look. You can see now about 20 feet or so.
Yeah, so he'll just send one of the dogs up ahead.
Standing here in the mist like this, actually, it looks like this bridge goes on forever. But you know, from seeing it when you approach, it's probably only about 200 feet across. 200 feet in length, that is. I mean,
Melchior, forward.
and he'll prance up ahead and out of sight.
And then I'll just continue walking. I'll actually kind of, when it seems like we may have reached about the halfway point, I'll just give a kind of a whistle signal back to Miklos and whoever else is still at the other end of the bridge.
Steve is standing back with you, Miklos, and he looks at you and says, I don't like this much. Not really sure this falls into my job description.
What exactly was the job description?
Well, you hired me as your wagon driver, didn't you?
Sure, but we don't have a wagon anymore.
Yeah.
So I guess you just got a raise.
Oh, very good. I look forward to seeing that when this is done.
Sure. Cuthbert will be the one to pay you.
Well, he's the one who was flashing all the cash yesterday, I guess. What is he, like your party treasurer or something?
Yeah, something like that.
All right. Well, let's get this over with. What is this, a haunted castle we're going to or something?
I think that's a pretty apt way to put it, Steve.
Well, at least there's a lot of us then. Let's go. And Cuthbert, you make it across the bridge first. Well, no, you don't. The dog kind of prances up past you. And it's waiting on the other side of the bridge then, sitting there looking back, tongue hanging out, panting heavily. You make it across the bridge without any issue.
So yeah, he pats the dog on the head as he gets to the end of the bridge and remounts his horse. So what does the trail look like up to the castle, or where I'm at right now? Is it still that 20 feet ring of mist around me?
Yep, absolutely. And again, you've got forest on both sides of the road. The road continues on to what you probably assume and know to be the northeast. You can't really see the sun anymore, but you know which direction you were headed before.
Cuthbert would definitely wait for the rest of the party to get across before he moved any further.
Yep, everybody make it across, no problem, no issues. Just occasionally a little light rumble of thunder in the distance.
This Strahd has inconvenienced us. Let's go and talk to him and sort him out. Continue.
As you continue to make your way along this fog-shrouded road. I'm sorry, did you want to say something more?
No.
Okay. The road eventually winds to the left again and zigzags a little bit and then starts to turn to the right again. And then eventually, after another 1,500 feet or so, you come to another fork in the road that forks to the left and to the right. Dead leaves crackling along the way here. The dirt road that you've been following continues to the northwest, but the road that's now leading east into the heart of this dense forest is a bit wider. You can see patches of cobblestone showing up now along the east road. And you can go ahead and give me another architecture roll if you want there, Torgal. Or anybody, really, for that matter. I just keep going to Torgal because he's the dwarf.
I rolled a 6, so that's a fail.
Yeah. It's just some shitty cobblestone road. To the right side, however, you notice something large and almost foreboding in its darkness and size. And you take it in and realize it's a very large carriage. It's probably the largest carriage you've ever seen. And it's got two huge horses. Again, two of the largest horses you've ever seen attached to it. Both of the horses are as black as pitch. They snort violent puffs of steamy breath into the chill air. And the carriage door swings open silently. This is a full covered carriage.
Looks like we've got a bit of a welcoming party here.
Yes, was it Yanaro that said that you could ride the carriage all the way up to the castle?
He might have said that, but I'm not getting in that carriage.
Yeah, if we're gonna have any sort of element of surprise, I don't think, taking that would be a good idea. Is there a visible driver or anything like that?
No, just the two horses.
Well, obviously, we're not surprising anybody.
Yes, I'm afraid the element of surprise is already unavailable to us.
Steve says, well, you hired me to drive your wagon. Oh, that looks better than any wagon I've had the pleasure of driving since I've been in your company.
Those are big horses. Do you think you could handle them?
Peace. I'm a professional.
Steve, how about you drive that thing and I'll follow along?
Sounds good to me. He goes over and like approaches it kind of cautiously and peers inside the open door. Says, oh, I've never seen anything so big and luxurious. Not even in London. Says, well, who's getting in? I'll give you a hand up.
Peace will make her way over. Oh, sorry.
Nope, just gonna say Ada takes a step back.
Peace steps over and looks inside, looks around to see if there's any obvious threat, any markings, any eldritch sort of writings or anything like that.
Nope, it's just a dark black carriage. If you peer inside, you'll see that it's really nicely decorated and, for lack of a better word, I want to say plush. You know, big padded seats, bench-like seats and stuff inside, and it's huge. You could probably fit at least a dozen people in there, no problem.
Does it have
windows? She scratches. Sorry, go on.
It does have windows, yes.
Can they be opened?
They do not have any glass in them. They just have like little kind of curtains in front of them. So yes.
Are there, not to interrupt everybody, but is there like a luggage compartment in the back? Like they have on like those big covered wagons sometimes?
Yes, in fact, there is.
And
it's got one of those big raised kind of tops too, where you could probably put more luggage up on top if you needed to as well.
Can I look and see if there's anything in the luggage compartment?
You can. It's empty. The horses just kind of stamp their feet a bit and snort.
I would get in the carriage.
Steve
Peace before she gets in. Peace before she gets in. She gets out her spell book and she copies. She scratches onto the door. She starts graffitiing on the door, writing sort of a 5x5 collection of letters.
What are you writing with?
She is writing with her dagger.
As soon as your dagger touches the door and you start to carve into it, the carriage violently lurches and takes off running at full speed. Torgal, give me a paralyze save.
So with my -1, I fail the save by 1.
So you're thrown violently down because you haven't really sat down comfortably inside yet. You're just standing inside looking at this thing and thinking how many dwarfs you could fit in here. So you get thrown violently down to the ground and then roll to the back of the carriage as it starts taking off at full speed. You're the only person inside of it, I believe. And you take 2 points of damage from the violent bumping and bouncing and
noted. Oy vey, Steve, what are you doing?
You get no response. Steve's not on the wagon, so what do the rest of you do? Steve just kind of looks in awe. He's like, "Oh."
Alistair will hop up onto his now unoccupied horse and just spur it on as fast as he can, chasing after the wagon.
Same thing. I'm already on my horse, so I think as soon as the thing would have made a single move, I would have followed.
And what's his name? Arthur. Arthur follows. So you get the rest of you being Miklos, Steve, Peace, Ada, and Edith, thank you. Jeez, brain dead. Are just kind of standing there gobsmacked as the wagon first takes off, and then Alistair, Cuthbert, and Arthur all take off after it.
I imagine it's like right after
as well.
It's right after Ada like shut the luggage compartment, so she thinks she did it. So she's just like, like slams it shut, and then like, the thing takes off.
Yep.
She just kind of like throws her hands back and just like, I didn't mean to. And then she like looks at Peace and sees that she's got a knife in her hand, and kind of like
the. Looking at the horses, I mean, the horses with riders, are they gaining on the coach or not?
You can't really tell because 20 feet and they're out of your range of view pretty much, maybe 30 feet since they're big.
Can
So I don't
try to
know.
make it to my feet.
I'll just have to help them. Actually, as the horses go chasing off after them, do I have time to let loose a haste spell on them?
I tell you what, roll an opposed initiative, and I'll tell you what's the range on the haste spell. Do you have to be able to see your target?
Oh, I haven't got that. I haven't got that information down, so I just have to check.
Is it not a 40 radius or something?
It's quite a big radius, yep. Just a minute.
Haste is diameter of 60 feet can be affected.
Does it have a range? Does it say within sight or anything?
60
feet.
60-foot radius.
So I'll just say you can make it happen.
Or 60 feet, yeah.
You can affect up to 7 targets, right? 1 per level for that?
Yep.
So who all do you want to have hasted?
I'll have the 2 riders and the 2 horses that they're on.
3 riders and 3 horses.
3 riders and 3 horses, and me.
And you. Okay, cool. Very good. So yeah, so they take off riding, and you can hear the sounds of the hoofs beating and the dogs barking because they think they're on a hunt now all of a sudden, as they're kind of fading away. What about the rest of you?
I try to get to my feet and look out the window.
Yeah, you can get up to your feet eventually and kind of pull yourself over and look out the window, and you see that you're rushing through the forest, and now it's climbing and climbing, and you realize it's getting kind of mountainous, and you're now climbing up the Ballynox. That's the name of the mountains here.
So if I look forward, I imagine I see just the horses going with no rider and with no driver. And if I look behind, do I see my companions at all?
Yeah, with the haste spell, you guys are able to catch up with it real quickly, and you're definitely moving faster than it. So Cuthbert and Alistair, I'll leave it up to you what you're doing. Arthur's just kind of following suit. So the dogs, however, are not able to keep up because they weren't hasted. So they're barking, but they're fading off in the background a bit.
So Alistair is trying to ride to the where the side of this carriage where this door was or is. And
yep, it's kind of banging open and shut since it wasn't really closed properly and latched.
Can I try to take an action here?
What kind of action?
I'd like to shoot one of the horses. You know, the big ones that are pulling the carriage.
Oof.
Okay. Yeah, if you'd like to. Go for it.
Like, I don't aim for the head. I aim for the body. I want to slow it down. Let's see if I hit. 21 from a natural 19.
Nice. Give me some damage.
3 damage.
So you shoot the horse, one of the horses, and it kind of its head rears back and looks kind of at you accusingly, and you notice its eyes are pure black, just completely unnaturally black. I know horses have dark eyes anyway, but it looks inhuman. Of course, it's inhuman. It's a horse. It looks unnatural as it looks back at you. And then the 2 horses both rear to the side of the road. And then they lurch back, and you hear a cracking sound, and you see what do you call the harness? Whatever it is that kind of attaches the horses to the wagon, starting to break away and come off of these horses as they start to continue running away from it. And you feel the wagon leaning more and more and more to the right. Those of you who are following...
It's now leaning to the right, and I imagine it's very slowly slowing down.
It starts to slow down, but then it starts to speed up as it's going off the side of the cliff of the
All
mountain.
right, I want to jump out the carriage.
Alistair,
Like the other
Cuthbert,
side, the
you guys
side
have
not
witnessed
facing the cliff.
this because you were actually in the process. Were you riding up alongside the wagon, weren't you? Somebody said they were approaching the door. Who was that?
Yeah, that was Alistair was approaching the door to try.
What
to
about you, Cuthbert?
Yeah, Cuthbert would have probably tried to take the other side of the path.
Okay, I need you to give me a roll. Let me see. Let's just call it a dex roll in order to prevent yourself from getting knocked off the side of the cliff here. It's not like a sheer cliff. This is like a kind of a...
So if I'm trying to roll under dexterity, I failed by 6.
Okay, so your horse gets hit by the wagon, and it's now being pushed off the side of the mountain as well. What do you want to do?
And like, I guess, like it feels like, does it feel like I could maybe pull on the reins and let the wagon go? And
No, this wagon is going to roll over your horse. What do you want to do?
Shit. I'm going to bail off the horse in the opposite direction of the cliff.
And try not to get smashed under the wagon in the process?
Yep.
Okay, give me just give me a dexterity roll.
Does he have advantage on dex rolls while being hasted? Or is that a different...
No.
Does it work like that?
It doesn't, no.
Lamentations?
He can do blessing if he wants, but he has to do it before he rolls the dice.
I passed by 6 this time.
Okay, so you do manage to dive off the back of the horse, actually. You have to kind of dive off the rear in order not... Because you imagine the horse is riding up alongside the wagon, and now the wagon is going this way and tumbling over the side of the cliff with your horse kind of rolling under it. So you leap off the back of the horse and manage to kind of grab onto a bit of a tree or something and hold on so you're not tumbling down the side of the mountain. Torgal, you were going to leap out the open door, which fortunately is on the left side of the carriage, so it is on the side
it's the so there were windows on both sides, right?
You see Alistair there.
Yeah, there are windows on both sides.
There are windows on both sides, but you're not going to fit through them. You probably want to just go out that open door.
Oh, the door is open. Okay, so yeah, I throw my heavy crossbow out the door, and then I follow right after it.
Okay.
The door is open on the side opposite from the cliff.
Door is open on the left. The cliff's rolling off the right.
Okay, yeah. So I jump out the door.
Is right there with his horse, hoping to try to give you a landing spot.
Then I'll aim for him.
Give me a dex roll.
Okay, yeah. I'll just go ahead and roll.
Alistair scoots up on the horse.
Yep. Yeah, I succeed by 11.
Okay. So you're reaching out for him, Alistair?
Yeah.
He leaps out and you're able to kind of grab him. And because you
pulling him onto the horse, old West style.
You can pull him right up onto the horse. The wagon rolls and you hear a crunching sound. You hear the scream of Samuel. Sorry. As the wagon kind of rolls over and you hear crunching and breaking sounds. You hear a sickly sound come from Samuel. Just imagine a horse being crushed by a wagon or a carriage as it rolls over it. And then it continues to roll. And as you look, you'll see the wagon continue rolling down the side of the mountain, smashing up off of trees and breaking up into pieces. And you see Steve also tumbling, legs flailing as he screams. You do not see Cuthbert.
Slow down a bit, Alistair. I should get my crossbow.
Fuck Cuthbert. I need my crossbow.
Alistair will slow his horse and try to turn him around and navigate back down to where the carriage went off and start trying to look over the edge for Cuthbert's body.
Okay. What were the rest of you guys doing during the minute or two that this took?
Hurrying on after them. Come on, we must catch them up.
Peace, are you running?
No, I'm just hurrying everybody else up.
Because you're hasted.
Like a sheepdog. I'll be biting at their heels, making sure that they're moving.
So you guys are all
started running. Edith would have started running.
Okay. Miklos? Ada? You guys also running?
Same.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So you're all kind of running. Steve is begrudgingly running right behind you, right alongside you, Peace. He's like, I'm not leaving you back here alone, old woman.
Good. Let's stop talking and run.
Okay. Do you start running?
Yes.
Then he starts running. Well, you
hurrying
don't
them on.
have to run. You can just kind of jog because you're hasted. So
Yeah, that's that. I'm taking it easy, but making sure they're all moving.
But moving
Power
at double
walking.
speed. Yeah. Imagine
Old
it.
ladies at the mall.
Yep. So you guys will hear a crashing sound up ahead, and you'll hear the scream of Cuthbert's horse. And then you'll hear crashing for several seconds afterwards, and then it'll stop. But it's still quite a ways up ahead of you. The dogs are barking too up ahead. So by the time you get there, let's see what's happening. Cuthbert, what did you do once you jumped out and grabbed onto that tree? Or jumped off, I should say. The horse.
So am I dangling from the...
No. It's kind of steep incline here, so you're probably holding on just for balance purposes. But you can reach the ground, and you probably are on the ground. Your feet are on the ground. You're just, you needed something to brace yourself with. It's a pretty precarious situation you were just in, and still.
So, can I see where the Can I see, like, when I look down, do I see the carriage and the horse?
Not anymore. The last thing you saw was you saw the carriage kind of roll over and start to break apart as it rolled over Samuel. Then it came over him, and you saw Samuel also rolling his legs, flailing about kind of unnaturally themselves as he screamed in pain, and then faded into the fog down below.
So, like, as soon as Cuthbert pulls himself to a position where he can stand without holding on to a tree, kind of brushes himself off and kind of just stares into the like the abyss where they fell. If anybody like comes up and asks him like what's going on or anything like that, like he's just gonna say there's $250 worth of health potions on that horse, as well as 25 gold or 25 silver.
So he's saying that as you're kind of, I guess, riding over there, Alistair? You see him there hanging onto a tree, like maybe 15 feet or so down the side, the very steep. I'm going to say it's probably like a 45-degree incline, maybe a little more.
Oh, thank the Lord, you're all right. Let me help you up.
And you hear another sound, again, coming from below. And it sounds like Samuel. He sounds like he's in pain.
How far down is this ravine again?
You're not sure? You can't see the bottom.
I can't see, okay. Oof.
It's not a ravine. You're in the mountains now, so it's the side of the mountain, yeah.
Side of the mountain, okay.
You hear Samuel crying out in pain. Samuel the horse, of course. Yeah. Horse, of course.
And Cuthbert, like a single tear flows out of his eye, but it's not because of the loss of the horse. It's because of the loss of all his art plus and his health potions and his small coffer of silver.
Oh yeah, you had all that stuff in the saddlebags, didn't you? I didn't think about that.
I still have my my pistols and my saber though, so.
The dogs have caught up now and have stopped barking, and they're just kind of standing around, like looking at you, Alistair, looking for direction.
Alistair will just tell them all to lie down and let them rest for a moment until the rest of the party arrives.
What about you, Torgal?
I'm dusting off my crossbow and reloading it as I give Cuthbert a look, and I say,
As I gate this, better luck next time.
It's not the first horse I've lost, and it probably won't be the last.
And less than a minute later, the rest of the party will arrive. Miklos and Ada, Edith come running up. Steve and Peace jogging up along with them.
Well, what happened?
Is everybody here? Are we missing anyone?
You all hear the horrible kind of hoarse screams coming from down below in the mists. Sounds like, I suppose, if you were to try to judge distance, sounds like it's probably 100 yards away.
I will very carefully aim for the sound and shoot my crossbow.
Okay, give me a roll.
It's a total of 6 only.
Thunk! Your bolt hits a tree somewhere down there, and but the horse continues to kind of scream in pain. The sound echoing a bit here off the, in between the mountains and stuff.
Maybe it would be wise if we left these dying animals and continued on. I fear that the sound of death might attract something around these spots.
You don't want to try and retrieve your things? Does anyone have rope? Ada kind of like takes like a look over the edge and then realizes that's a really bad idea and steps away from it.
Well, I have some rope. You could tie it to your waist and then to a tree.
That might be a great idea. My climbing gear, just let me get that off of my horse.
Arthur says,
you're not the only one with stuff.
Somebody should go down there and put that poor thing out of its misery. It sounds horrible.
How about you do it, Steve?
Steve says, me?
You're
I'm a wagon driver, not a mountain climber.
I have 50 feet of hemp rope. There are some sturdy trees around here. It's worth a try, if any of you want to try it.
50 feet? That thing is more than 50 feet away. Listen to it.
Is this not part of the job of a teamster to tend horses and carriages and?
Does anyone have any extra rope
too? We could tie one to the other.
Steve says, "Well, where is the carriage anyway?"
Cuthbert kind of walks to the edge and just looks down the cliff.
Oh, the other horses too? Arthur says, No, they ran off further down the road in the mist. They broke away from the carriage and it went over the side of the mountain.
Those aren't really horses.
Torgal barely got out alive.
And Alistair will shoot Torgal a bit of a look, having kind of seen him through the carriage window because he was right up next to it when he shot the horse. Not sure if Cuthbert was aware of that or not, so he's just looking at him like, yes, the horse is detached from the carriage and sent it careening over the edge.
Looked like horses. They weren't really horses.
Yeah, how do horses detach themselves?
I think this is a matter. This is neither here nor there. I'm not going down that ravine. It doesn't appear as though our teamster's going to. So,
well, if you have enough rope, I'll go.
Let's press on.
That's
a good man. Edith, let's tie our ropes together and help this man go get the things.
All right.
So how much rope do you have?
I have 2 sections.
So between both of us, we got 100 feet of rope.
She's got 2 sections, so you got 150 feet.
All right, 150.
Okay. So this will take a little bit of time. He ties it carefully around his waist and starts to kind of carefully climbing down the very steep. Oh, it's not so much climbing, but it's partially climbing and grabbing onto rocks and trees and points. He kind of gets down and crawls a bit and gets to the edge, and the rope kind of pulls taut. He says, I'm going to need more. You're going to have to come down here or something. the whole time you can still hear the horrible screams of Samuel down there, just echoing about.
Well, instead of having it secured to this tree, I guess we could tie it to the horses we have left, and should the strain be too much, well, a rope can always come undone.
Your horses aren't getting down that mountainside. Not unless you force them, and it'd be very dangerous.
So, Cuthbert yells down, "Steve, grab hold of something. I'm going to untie the rope."
I've got hold of something.
And
I'm not a fool.
And Cuthbert unties the rope from the tree that it's connected to. And
Wait. If we leave the rope all the way down there, I don't think he'll be able to get it back up to us, especially not with the load that we're asking him to retrieve. Oh boy. I may be able to climb a bit down. If I leave the rope tied, I'll climb a short ways down, 50 feet or so, and try to attach it to something there. I don't want to have to try to get the rope back up 150 feet to reattach it to a log up here.
How far down did you say this was?
It sounded like the horse was probably about 100 yards away.
So we're only halfway? Oh.
Yeah. You're guessing. I mean, you're dealing with sound here. You know, you can't see. So
yeah.
You can't see Steve either, for that matter. You just see the rope leading down.
I don't know why Steve can't just tie himself off to whatever he's held on to right now. Continue on down. Grab a couple health potions. Grab my arquebus. Kill the horse, and then get back up here.
I just don't know how you're expecting him to climb back up. He may be able to, but he won't be able to be secured for the second half of the climb.
He can do it slowly, and he can bring back the rope. That's a good quality rope.
No, it doesn't sound very sensible.
You may be asking too much of the man. He's clearly an expert in the art of driving a wagon, but I don't think we can ask much else of him.
You might have a good point here, and we are risking losing all the rope that we have. Maybe it's better to help him come up.
Ada is gonna pray, and as she prays, she's asking for some sort of sign or guidance for their next course of action, as she's casting augury. So it's a 77% chance of getting an accurate answer of Wheel of Woe, of letting Steve continue down to retrieve Cuthbert's things. You're muted.
Thank you. You sense woe.
Yeah, we should get him back up. It's dangerous, and she's hoping it's not just her newfound fear of heights. But
I'm going to tie the rope back to the tree, and then you can come back up.
I think we should perhaps assist that and pull on the rope. We shouldn't stay there any longer than we should.
Hey, there's something down here, guys.
Pull him up. Pull him up.
Pull me up.
Alistair, just give me a
Well, and I have a hold of the rope, so what does the rope feel like it's doing whenever I'm holding on to it?
You feel something pulling on it. It's tugging pretty heavily.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull with whoever else is pulling too, because I have the end of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna help him pull.
Stop.
I'll help pull.
After a few seconds, and you pull.
Yeah.
And at first there's a little bit of resistance, and then it kind of jerks a little bit, and you all kind of stumble back a little bit. But then you're able to continue pulling. No more resistance.
Does it feel like too light? Like, does it just feel like we're pulling up a rope, or does it feel like we're pulling up a rope with a Steve on it, or at least most of Steve on it?
It feels like there's something on it. Yeah.
Cool.
Give me a wisdom roll.
Okay. I think I'm okay at that. Ooh. Wisdom.
Sorry for my horrible scream sounds.
Rolled right on. So.
Yeah, it's it feels a bit light, but there's definitely something on it.
Is the horse still screaming?
Yes. That's the only
Is
sound
it the
you
same?
hear now.
Is it the same scream of pain, or is it a panicked scream like we heard from Samuel?
It's the same scream. No, the scream you hear. Oh, sorry, Steve isn't screaming. Samuel's screaming.
Steve.
The horse. It's the same scream of pain that the horse had. Yeah.
It hasn't changed in tone.
No.
So the animal screams are not attracting whatever attacked Steve.
As you're pulling up, you get half of Steve. The rope is still tied around his waist, but the rest of his body, pretty much below his pelvis, is missing. Both legs and a good portion of his crotch. It's just a bloody mess.
So
He just gonna go throw up in the trees.
I think I saw this coming. Like I said before, do you mind if we continue on? Because the screams of these horses seem to be attracting something.
Not without our rope, we're not. And I start taking the rope out and, handing Edith her 2 lengths of rope.
Arthur climbs off of his horse and goes and starts retching.
Yep. Peace has gone to sit down, looking pale.
The dogs, by the way, now their body language has changed. They're kind of whimpering a bit, and their ears are down, and they look nervous.
Boy, finish your business quickly and remount your horse. We need to leave. I understand that this has been... And he kind of looks over at the body of Steve, and he says, a distressing experience for all of us, but I don't think we
Steve's
can...
eyes and mouth are wide open, and, got a look of terror on his face.
He's gonna come over and close his eyes and recite last rites for him real quick before we head off, despite Cuthbert's urgency.
What's the direction the dog's facing when they're kind of whimpering and...
They've moved over kind of to the middle of the road now, and they're facing Alistair, but they have a look on their face. They look like they've been chided almost. You know what I mean? Their ears are down, their tails are down, and they just heads are down low, shoulders kind of hunched.
Whenever I see Miklos checking out the scene, I say, something look appetizing, Miklos.
I'm just going to ignore Cuthbert. And I'm going to take my weapon out. I'm going to take my gun out. Kind of start tuning an instrument upon me.
What the hell was that?
That was a flip E minor.
Austin?
That happens every time Chex tells a joke.
Sorry. Whoops.
That's all right. It's funny. Okay. So, well, you still have 2 horses and 3 dogs. And there are 8 of you now.
Let's push on foot and not take any offers of friendship or any negotiation. We go and kill Strahd. Simple as that.
What about Steve?
I go over to Steve and
do the last rites for him.
I would lay him down on his right like he was sleeping. and I will just say, Sei Moichel, I nickel. And I turn around and start walking in the other direction.
Jesus Christ, Jax, that's a fucking bad joke. Just for the benefit of anybody who might actually be watching this, Chex has just typed in the chat that Steve's on half pay now.
Not to be crass, but does he have his silver pieces on him?
It's just ask that.
I need to, put some across his eyes,
Good question.
in case he was pagan or something. Jeez.
Roll. God, Ada, wow. Roll a d20 and compare it to your lowest number, your lowest stat.
Oh, that would be my strength. Thanks.
This is how I do luck rolls in Lamentations. D20 against your lowest stat.
I got a 2, and my lowest is a 6.
Yep, his pouch is still attached to his belt there, which is, the pouch is just hanging down kind of where his right leg used to be. And it's covered in blood and gore, but...
That's 75 silver pieces that Ada's going to pick up.
It's only got 50 silver pieces in it, actually. But...
damn it, he spent some of it. Dick. Okay, yeah,
well,
50
you can only fit 50 coins in a purse.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So the rest might have been stashed somewhere, but who knows? Nobody knows now.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you guys then continue on walking up the mountains, through the craggy peaks of the Balinux, and you hear the rumbling of thunder from time to time. Eventually, the screams of Samuel fade off in the distance and stop. After passing through the craggy peaks of the Balinux, the road takes a sudden turn to the east, and the startling, awesome presence of Ravenloft itself towers before you, the mist seeming to almost open up and reveal it ahead of you. There are twin guardhouses of turreted stone, broken from years of use and exposure. Beyond these, a 50-foot wide precipice gapes between the Ballynock cliffs and the walls of Ravenloft, a chasm of dizzying depth that disappears into the fog-shrouded distance far below. The lowered drawbridge of old shorn-up wood beams hangs precariously between you and the arched entrance to the courtyard. The chains of the drawbridge creak in the wind, their rust-eaten iron straining with the weight. From atop the high, strong walls, stone gargoyles seem to stare out at you from their hollow sockets and they grin hideously. A rotting wooden portcullis, green with growth, hangs in the entry tunnel. Beyond this, the main doors of Ravenloft stand open, a rich, warm light spilling from them into the courtyard. Torches flutter sadly in sconces on both sides of the open doors. And you're standing... Now this... Well, actually, this image isn't so great. Instead of a bridge there, it should actually be the drawbridge. It should be a drawbridge, not the natural stone brick in the image. I didn't realize that when I picked this image, but oh well. It gives you a sense of the height anyway.
Torgal, is this bridge safe to cross?
Torgal, do you want to make an architecture roll? Try to determine
the roll?
Yeah. It should be. It should be. It looks pretty strong. Some of the boards are in pretty poor condition, but the chains themselves.
You just watch your step, and you should be able to make it across just fine.
That better be something to make my money back on this expedition.
I say we don't tarry. The longer we take, I lose another crossbow bolt.
I agree, I might lose another horse. And I kind of look back at the rest of the party and start to walk across and through the gates.
I'll follow.
Edith will follow as well.
Alistair will
Making it across.
Alistair will make sure that we'll tell Arthur, make sure your pistol is loaded, boy. Keep your head low. Do what I say.
Are we bringing the horses in there? Don't you think maybe we should leave them here? I don't know if it's right to bring them into a castle.
You may have a point, boy. It might be good for an expeditious retreat. What say you?
Maybe we should bring them into the courtyard and tie them off somewhere.
Yes, I think that's wise. Let's do it.
Will we ride them across, or should we walk them across?
No, dismount. Dismount. And be
Okay.
at the ready.
You going ahead of him, Alistair?
Yes.
Or
Yes, definitely.
okay. Who does that leave? Just Miklos, right?
Miklos would try and get across before the horses were led across.
Okay. No problem. You all make it across without any issue. You'll see over the entry tunnel, which, well, like I said, okay, you see you're coming into a courtyard, but the entry tunnel to the courtyard, because there's the kind of where the portcullis is and stuff, call that the entry tunnel. There is some green slime kind of hanging over it, hanging off of parts of the portcullis and stuff.
I mean, I haven't seen a lot of castles, but is that normal? Is it because of the fog and all the moisture in the air? Ada says, pointing up towards the green slime.
Is the slime covering the entire top, or just like one side of it?
It's pretty wide. Yeah, it covers most of it. But it's not actually dripping, it's just kind of hanging there. If you think of it like it looks like a big giant booger.
Is there a bushcraft or something to roll? Or something possible to make just to...
Sure. I'll let you do that. Go for it, Miklos.
Just to figure out how normal this is. So that's a success on a 2.
You got a success, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't look normal. It doesn't look like any kind of slime you've encountered in the natural world.
As they're regarding it with curious eyes, I just point my crossbow up at it and aim.
Oh boy, this shit again. All right. No, just kidding.
I'm not firing just yet.
The dwarf threatens it with his crossbow, aiming it up at it.
I shall taunt it.
Anybody going in?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, there's no sense in standing outside. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, Ada will follow after somebody else has already gone in. She likes the middle.
Yep. Alistair and Cuthbert go forward. Arthur following close behind Alistair, looking up at the green slime as they kind of walk under it, pass under the portcullis and into the actual courtyard itself. And nothing happens.
I'll do the same.
Torgal walks in, aiming his crossbow at it as he walks under it.
I mean, we came here to fight Strahd. We've got to go in sometime, right? We need to walk forward.
Edith walks forward, leaving just Miklos and Ada.
Yeah, we'll see.
said I was going in.
Sorry, and Peace.
There we go.
Oh, you're going in. Sorry. So yeah, Ada walks in. Peace and Miklos now, the last two.
Yeah, Miklos will walk in, seeing the dwarf's taunting of the slime didn't provoke it.
Very well. And Peace. Did we lose Caius? Caius, are you there, buddy? We seem to have lost Caius. Okay, he's there. I see. Oh, yeah, there he goes. He's probably going to rejoin. He probably lost his audio. Give him a moment.
Can you just like right now we're just near like the entry tunnel. We're about to walk into the courtyard. Yeah.
No, you're in the courtyard pretty much now. Once you've walked through the entry tunnel.
Okay, and then the layout is just like the big castle before us.
Well,
is there any other sorts of types of structures or buildings?
I can give you a. No, it's just the castle itself, but I'll give you. I've got a description here for the courtyard. I just thought I might wait until Caius is back to read it.
Cool.
Hopefully he's back momentarily. Let us see. Ah, there he is. Caius, sound check.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, sure can. Sorry, I don't know how long you were without audio there. Apologize if I missed anything you were trying to say.
She follows she follows everybody in, avoiding going under the green slime if possible, but
kind of edging along the side of the entry tunnel.
Yep.
You got to kind of move your back along the kind of slimy wall, not green slimy wall, but just the the moist wall from the moisture in the air. And as you enter the courtyard too, the slime does not move. Nothing happens. You have now entered the front courtyard. Thick, cold fog swirls around in this darkened courtyard. Sporadic flashes of lightning lance the angry clouds overhead. Oops, I get some echo from you, Caius. All right, it's gone. A light drizzle begins to fall, and ahead, torch flames flutter in the wind on each side of the open main doors. Hold on, I'm feeding back again. I'm going to mute you, Caius. That sucks. Okay. Warm light spills from those open doors into the courtyard. Doors in the gate towers on each side of the tunnel entrance are shut against the rain. A howling wind rushes through the courtyard, the dark towers of the keep looming above in the mists. Flickering lights shine from a short round tower on the southeast side of the keep. Which would be to the left. No, wait, southeast, sorry, to the right. Apologies. This map is very confusing.
So, like the storm seems to have picked up since we got in.
Yep, you now see lightning flashing in the sky. You hear a little bit of the rumbling of thunder, and a light drizzle has begun to fall.
So Cuthbert kind of looks around everybody and kind of takes note of the weather and says, "I think we need to get inside. I think the storm's going to get worse."
Just from like the outside of the castle, since there was the Donovic told us that there might be like a cathedral or like some sort of holy place here in the castle. Is there like something that looks like big stained glass windows, like a direction that we could head towards what might be holy ground? Whether or not it's still holy ground, but it might be. Can we see that from the outside at least?
Let me take a quick look here to see. That's where it is. From where you are right now, you cannot see.
Okay.
So we try the door to the right. It might be the quickest way to that tower over there with the light.
Do we want to head towards the light?
There.
Yeah, but the people who are here in this castle are possibly dangerous. Are we sure we want to head to where we can tell it's inhabited?
Well, this Strahd...
I'd rather take the shortest distance between friends or foes. It takes less time.
But
yep.
There's... Okay. So we don't want to do any type of exploring. I mean, sounded like from what Madame Ava was saying that there might be some very helpful things in other parts of the castle that, if might not be currently inhabited. Maybe we should check that way first, before running into the mouth of the beast, so to speak.
Yep. So as you're looking, just again to kind of make sure you know what you look at, there are entry doors into the castle right in the middle, right up ahead of you, that are open, where the light is coming from, and then there are kind of like halfway through across, past the castle in the courtyard, there are more stone walls with the court gates basically that open up into other parts of the courtyard. It would seem, if you wanted to.
Could I make a
wander around.
check to see how thick these walls look?
Yeah, sure.
Succeed?
They are very thick, very good. Again, good strong construction. Human work again, definitely not dwarven, but really, really fine construction work here. A lot of effort and planning must have gone into making this place. It is, for lack of a better word, built like a fortress.
Ada, if you insist on taking a look around this courtyard, I'd be happy to go with you.
Well, not necessarily the courtyard. I just, didn't want to go straight there. She says, pointing to the ominous-looking lit tower.
If there should be a trap, it is certainly the door already open in front of us. Either right or left, I would say. It's just that it looked like there was someone there. And from what they've told us about Strahd, he doesn't care for light. It might be someone else, maybe a prisoner.
Maybe.
Or maybe a servant. That was Arthur, by the way. He's the only voiced NPC I have to worry about now. Thanks, Steve.
Boy is right. Perhaps we could extract some information from such a servant.
Well, I mean, I'll, do what you all think is best. Of course, I just, thought it worth mentioning.
Where's the ranger?
And I look around for Miklos.
I bet he's come into a dwelling without an invitation before.
Miklos?
I don't know what to say to that implication.
Just want to make sure you're still with us, Chicks.
I assume that there's like a little bit of like a ceiling to the edges of the courtyard in every direction.
A ceiling, no.
So we're under the
Just
rain
really high
right now?
walls. Yeah, you're being rained on. It's like I said, it's a light drizzle.
I say we get out of this wet mess of rain. Right or left?
Why don't we let Steve decide? I was going to give him this coin before he felt his death. So let's see what his spirit has to say. Heads for right, tails for left.
All right.
Go right ahead.
Right.
I really thought that you were gonna pull Steve's corpse out of your be like, what do you think?
Out of his bag of holding?
Yeah, he packed him into his
He
backpack.
pulls the forearm and hand out of his clothing and points with it towards the right.
Oh, I thought we
What,
did
you
like a
didn't bring a
wishbone,
pack lunch?
just a
Made a
wishbone
puppet
thing.
out
Like
of
one of
it.
us goes right.
Steve's a wishbone.
The coin lands heads.
Heads, which was right.
Okay, so you begin to go towards the right kind of center court gate around the side of the castle, and I guess this would Kaya said he has to restart his computer because he was having issues. So maybe we should take a quick intermission if you guys want to take a break, get something to drink, use the restroom real quick.
Sounds good.
Sounds
Grab
good.
back.
I just got
And hopefully Kaya's will be back in a few minutes.
Cool.
I'll be here anyway if anybody's not going anywhere and wants to chat. But only thing I got to do is grab my bottle of water, which is right over here. I prepared for just such a situation. Jeremy said, "Thanks for dying, Steve," should be the title of the stream. I'll think of something a little bit more creative than that, but yeah, poor Steve.
Yeah,
Just leave him hanging off the side of a mountain like a fucking worm on a hook.
Well, I mean, he could have made it down to the horses.
If he had 300 foot of rope, he could have.
Well,
I wonder how much rope Jeremy had on that fucking horse, too.
I know I had a thing of rope that went up in flames a few sessions ago, so.
Yeah. I guess it wouldn't be a proper Ravenloft adventure if things didn't kind of go tits up somewhere along the way.
But hey, we
at multiple points along the way.
Yeah. I like that that visual of that scene though. Just the rope hanging down in the mists, and you hear the echoing sounds of the horses' screams down below, and then Steve screaming for help.
Yeah, that was like some proper John Carpenter shit there, Ian.
And you pull up half of a corpse.
You can almost hear like the 80s sting. The synth sting is like the rope came up and it's all like
Welcome back, Chex.
Yeah, just Kurt Russell putting his shocked face on.
Oh man. Well, what are retainers for, eh? You've still got one.
I mean,
one down, one to go.
It's like, yeah, we've dingled one off the side of a cliff for fortune and glory, and now we're gonna let him walk down the corridors ahead of us to check for traps.
Oh, poor Arthur. He's just a boy.
Disagree. We are sending the dogs. Arthur is staying right with me.
Are we talking about using Arthur as monster?
Our goat?
We are not talking about that. We are absolutely not talking about that. That is not a thing we are talking about.
He's our goat on a stake.
Well, I mean, I lost all my rations and my horse, so like if we get stuck in this castle for a while.
I have my Ada has like her rations and stuff. Don't worry, you won't have to Miklos anyone.
Is that what we call it from now on? Cannibalism is called pulling a Miklos. It's a really casual way to talk about eating people.
I mean, I like how you guys are all hung up about Miklos eating people, but like barely anyone's been all like, "Hey, Alistair, where were you burning kids?"
Right.
I said something.
Were you really cold or something? Like, what was going on there?
that night that
She had lovely children, very flammable.
Those English winters are bitter, man.
So, Miklos ate somebody to survive. We think we're just kind of assuming that's what happened. We haven't actually asked him.
That comic you said was brilliant. It was so funny.
There is
You mean human flesh to survive? Nope, never. Maybe.
There was one that I got someone sent to me earlier today. It was like the same author. I felt so attacked. Let me see if I can find it again.
Now I'm imagining Miklos as like a person or a bear that's been dressed up as a person. successfully like tricking us into thinking that he was a person.
I escaped from a Russian circus. I'll never go back.
Yeah, this one's so me. I see a small apartment. I see you alone and a lot of polyhedral dice. Jesus, that's a lot of polyhedral dice.
Have you seen the one that hold on, I'll send. I found a pretty good one in that line too. I also seen one about unpainted minis. That's the same thing as that.
That's hilarious. See you in an apartment alone with a lot of polyhedral dice. That could apply to a lot of us here at the moment, I reckon. But
Man, I feel so attacked.
all right.
It's true.
Yeah. I mean, I've only got like on the desk in front of me. I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes full of dice that I'm not using. Like, yeah, like, you know, like not like the ones I sent you, Ian, but like ones maybe like half that size.
Okay.
They fit like maybe 20 dice a piece or whatever. But yeah, I've got like 2 of those.
It's a lovely box too, Corinne.
Yes. And and then I've got like a little box of metal dice that Jade sent me, a box of metal dice that I got for my birthday, and then my wormwood box that has my opalite dice in it, and then my wormwood dice, and that's not even counting like the box of dice that I've got that's got like maybe 200 in there.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of polyhedral dice. All right.
The dice are so pretty.
We need to have an intervention for C.
Mm-hmm.
You are not allowed to say anything, Jade. How many dice did you buy at Origins this week?
Oh, yeah, I saw that one earlier, Jeremy. I think you shared that on Facebook or something, didn't you? It's a good one. Caius is not yet back online. For anybody who's watching this after the fact, you might want to just fast forward a little bit until the action resumes once the 8th member of our group rejoins us.
Yeah,
but for our one live viewer, apologize for the wait. We just kind of giving Caius the opportunity to return before we press on.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab a water real quick.
Wouldn't feel right to push on without peace. I don't want to NPC the wizard.
She is the glue that holds the ever victorious together.
Damn straight.
I thought it was Steve.
She's the MVP.
No, did you see my message in the thing over here? The title of the stream should be "Thanks for dying, Steve."
Yeah, I saw that. I'll probably come up with something a little more creative than that, but
thanks for dying, Steve.
What I said to Steve as I laid him to rest roughly translates to, "Sorry, grandson."
That's sweet.
Come on, Caius. We're rooting for you, bro.
He declares.
He said he's restarting everything. Be back shortly. Restarting everything. So I guess he's rebooting his router and everything.
Oh, Ignacio, I got some inspiration from you, and I ordered an old school phone with a keyboard the other day, so I don't have to have a dang smartphone.
Nice. Welcome to the club.
Well, hopefully Caius will be back momentarily, but I think it's been like 10 minutes or something, so I think I'm just
no GPS club.
I think I'm just going to go on for the moment, and hopefully he comes back before anything dramatic happens. So when you do go over to that that gate around the right side of the castle from where you're facing, which would be kind of the south side of the castle, there's a massive wall here that joins the outer walls of the castle to the keep. A single gate, 20 feet wide, leads through the joining wall. The gate is blocked by a rusting portcullis. Unlike the entry gate to the courtyard, this one is down.
I'm back.
Is there
So
like a
there's one of those
mechanism
things
or
that like
anything that?
lowers and rises.
Exactly. That's what a portcullis
Right.
is.
I assume it looks like it opens from the other side.
Well, do you want to check it out?
Yep.
If you examine it, it is a bit rusting, but if you examine it, you'll notice it is not locked. So you could probably try to lift it.
So I look around and say,
You don't see any kind of, there's no gatehouse here or anything. So you figure, if anything, if it is operable, it must be operable from inside the keep.
well, we can probably try to lift this baby up.
I give you a hand with that if you want.
Is there anything around that I could prop under it so that when we walk under it, it doesn't just slam shut on us?
Did you bring something with you?
No.
Then no.
I don't have anything like that. I mean, I have a crowbar, but it'll probably just bend under the weight of this. So I would take a look around, basically, you know, open invitation to holding this thing up. And for now, it's just me and Edith. If it's just us, then I guess we both roll strength or something.
Yeah, I would help. I mean, I wouldn't just let them do that by themselves, so I would definitely be.
What is your strength, Torgal?
13? 13?
Yeah, you could lift it yourself.
Okay.
No roll
So,
required.
strength check?
Nope, don't need to. You can just lift it.
Yeah, so I will lift it and probably you would, I lift it up about, like a little under 5 feet, basically. And I guess you all.
So it's just a little bit over your head?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no problem.
While they're lifting it, Alistair is standing a few feet back from this portcullis, and his eyes are closed, and he's got his cross up to his lips, and he's whispering into it, and he's casting divination. So I don't actually have the text of the spell. Let me see if I can get it.
Okay.
Give me a second. I can control F for you. Divination.
Oh, thank you.
The divine powers know everything that was, everything that is, and everything that will be. This spell allows the cleric to distract his god with resplendent devotion and allow some of the god's knowledge to slip into the world. The cleric can then interpret these memories to gain information regarding an area, building, area of dungeon, or other similar place. Information gain includes, in vague terms, a general idea of how powerful the creatures are there present, that are there present. Emphasis is good. The general amount of treasure present, what kind of resistance to attack is present, and the nature of it, whether it is good, evil, chaotic, lawful, etc. The base chance for correct divination is 60 plus 1 per caster level. The referee should roll this secretly. If the dice roll fails, false information is delivered instead.
And what are you trying to divine? What's on the other side of this gate?
Yeah, just generally any information I can pick up about the castle and the first, like the entrance and the, where we'll be kind of headed first.
And you feel nothing. Not only nothing as in nothing waits on the other side in this courtyard, but almost as if your god does not hear you or doesn't care.
Alistair blinks a few times at his cross and kind of shakes his head.
In the back of your mind, you hear the cackling voice of Madame Ava chiding you as the burner of children.
He grows silent again and tries to help with the portcullis.
Oh yeah, no problem. Like Torgal probably is happy to have somebody else helping him since he's holding this thing just over his head. But it's not. What is your strength, Alistair?
Very low.
Oh, how low?
Let's see. 6.
Okay, yeah, you wouldn't be able to hold this on your own, you don't think? But
If
you
it
can
looks like
just.
So if it looks like Torgal's kind of struggling with it or getting tired, Edith will just walk over and just like lift it up.
Okay. Does anybody actually want to pass through?
Oh yeah, I'll definitely pass through. I mean, after the others do. And
Yeah.
Edith has relieved me.
I'll give Peace a hand.
Yep. Help guide Peace through. You guys all pass through, and then Edith, you gonna go to the other side of it and kind of lower it back down?
Yeah. As carefully as I possibly can.
Yeah, no problem. You can do so easily. I think your strength is 10 or higher, right?
It's 15, yeah.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. And it seeps back into the ground, and, it's closed, but you could easily reopen it again, you're sure. And you're in now another kind of court, like a side court, if you will. And so you're now on the south, kind of west side of the castle. No, southeast side of the castle now. And yeah, this would be the real southeast side of the castle. I'm just looking at something here. Short round tower on the southeast side of the keep. Let me look at this here. It's kind of weird. Looking at this map, I don't see any short towers. I guess that's the short round tower. Yeah, it's still, the short round tower is still 90 feet high. So, so it's not all that short. Oh no, 90 feet high. Sorry, that's the wall here. That's not the tower itself. So this must be the tower here. That's 190 feet high. So that light that you see up in that southeast tower. But this court itself seems pretty much empty. And there is, however, another kind of wall at the eastern side of the keep here, which has a little doorway in it, a little gateway that is open that looks like it leads into a garden area on the east side of the keep.
Garden area?
What kind of garden? Like a flower garden or like a
Yeah, you
vegetable
walk over
garden?
and have a look through.
Yeah.
So it's sorry, let me just check something. Does it say how big? Yeah, 1 square is 10 feet. So yeah, that garden area itself is probably, let's see, 20, 30, 40, about 80 feet from south to north side, and at its widest portion, it's about 50 feet wide from east to west, if you will. It's just a small garden struggling to survive. Small flowers pressing sadly skyward towards the gloom. And on the eastern side of that garden area, there is a large iron gate.
Can we see where the gate leads?
Sure, I'm going to walk over there. Dead leaves turn spirals about your feet, wheeling and careening over the stone railing. Oh, I'm sorry, not the stone railing. Sorry. Just dead leaves turn spirals around your feet as you approach the gate and look through, and you can see an overlook. And there you see the stone railing. Dark, surging clouds overhead drizzle constantly. The gate does not appear to be locked. You could simply open it, if you will. It's just swing gate.
Alistair will attempt to open the gate.
Yep, gate opens right up.
We should stay together and be prepared for anything. I'm not sure what's here.
Right. Man's not much of a gardener, I'm afraid. There's not much else to admire here. And I would walk slowly through the open gate.
Okay, yep. You walk through into the overlook area. Do you want to walk over to the stone railing and look over?
Yeah, carefully, but I'd like to take a look.
So you'll see that you're on a construction jutting out at least 20 feet from the cliff face itself. The gray, dismal town of Barovia lies over 1,000 feet below. Yeah.
Fergal takes a small pebble from the ground and tosses it over, watches it disappear from sight. This isn't exactly a heartening view.
The rain begins to pick up.
I would kind of return. Is this all that's past the gate? Or is there more?
That's it, just an overlook area. However, you would notice also, I suppose I should have mentioned this when you walked into this garden, and I apologize for not saying so because I know Ada particularly would have been interested to know. The garden at this eastern end of the castle juts off of what looks to be the chapel side of the castle here on the east side.
Yeah, I was kind of looking for that. So
Yeah, sorry, I just kind of thought about it. I was like, I should mention that.
yeah, with seeing that there's a chapel and after they like inspect the overlook or whatever, because I think
You will
Ada
see,
seeing that it isn't a nice huge overhang, she probably wouldn't actually walk out there.
There are stained glass windows there. They are about the bottom of those windows is about 10 feet up off the ground.
Is there a doorway or an entryway from the garden
There is
leading
not.
into the chapel?
That would be way too easy.
It would, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least now we know which building it is, so we can do the thing where you like follow it around looking for an entryway. Or is the garden in?
I think that's a smart idea. I think finding some sort of a chapel.
If you look closer at the windows, you'll see that most of them are broken and boarded up, but there are plenty of little cracks in between the boards and such.
We could try climbing up, I suppose.
I'll round about and come within sight of you and say, well, the rain's picking up. Did you say anything about climbing? And I look up and how high up are the windows?
Like I said, the base of the window is about 10 feet up off the ground.
I could try to throw my grappling hook and lodge it into those boards or past them, climb up and punch a hole in them, then help the rest of you up.
Is there one that's like kind of broken enough that we could all pass through without having to punch out any glass?
Yeah, it's boarded though. You'd have to break out the boards probably.
Ooh. Yeah, Ada will kind of point out the most promising looking one to Torgal.
Right. I propose one or two of you stand under it. After all, the stone is wet.
Ada will, even though like she's like super weak, so if you fall on her, she's not probably going to be able to catch you, but she's going to give it an old college try anyway.
Without turning back, you just hear my voice saying, "Ask Edith for help."
Hi, Edith. Do you mind helping me?
I'll catch you if you fall, Torgal. Probably.
Would this be strength or dex or what?
What, to launch your grappling hook up there?
Yeah, I guess that would be a missile attack, huh?
Yep.
And then I would attempt to climb? Okay.
Yep.
So that's a total of 9 for the
First
throw.
time it thumps up against one of the boards and falls back down.
For to give Torgal a boost.
To
try
trying to lift him up there,
yeah,
boost him up there?
Yeah, so it's closer for the grappling hook to reach.
Oh, I see, okay. Like put him up on your shoulders kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's try this again.
Okay, go for it.
This time is a 12.
Yep. Clunk, catches. Feels pretty secure.
All right, then I'll climb up there.
Okay. As you're climbing up there, yep, you make it up onto the edge of the window, and without the board completely breaking. Although the wood does crack and moan a couple of times as you get up there. But once you get up to the edge of the window, you can kind of hold on and secure yourself if you want. If you have a knife, dagger, or something, you can stick it into the wood or whatever. What are you going to do now that you're up here?
Well, the window itself is boarded up, right?
It is, yeah.
So
You still
I
got
would
his crowbar,
actually dislodge the hook and just hold it between my knees and use my crowbar to take the boards out.
No
And
problem.
then after that, I would attach the hook to the bottom of the window that's rock.
Cool. And lower it down and pass into the room? Or are you going to stand here in the window frame?
Well,
It'll take you a few minutes to
right.
get all the boards loose and out, but yeah.
Well, I would actually yell
Right.
down and say,
Go ahead.
"Do you have another hook and rope? I can use this one to lower myself inside, and you could use another one to climb up here and do the same."
It's only a 10-foot drop. Are you afraid of heights or something?
You mean into the building?
Yep.
Yeah, after my carriage, my magic carriage ride, what I'm actually gonna use, I'm gonna use the hook to lower myself down carefully.
Okay. Do you guys have another grappling hook?
But when I get in there, what I can do is I can just like toss it and see if I can just basically get it to the other side.
Oh yeah, you could do something like that, I suppose.
Yep.
Yeah, you could lower yourself down in, and then you can just kind of unhook it and throw. You could throw the rope over the other side and just hold on to it while they climb up.
You know, in a loud voice, like "Heads up," and toss it out of the window.
Yeah, why don't you like set the grappling hook up against like something sturdy inside the chapel, because it's a 50-foot rope, so it's got enough slack
So
to.
it's 50 foot. Okay, yeah. So I'll
Okay.
just lodge it onto some like a part of the wall on the inside.
So as you lower yourself into the chapel, Torgal, here's what you see. Dim colored light filters through broken and boarded up stained glass windows, illuminating the ancient chapel of Ravenloft. Pews and benches lie about the floor in jumbled disarray, coated with centuries of dust. Beyond this debris, lit by a single piercing shaft of light, an altar stands upon the platform. Well, you're coming in from the other side, so actually I suppose it's kind of before the debris from your perspective. The light falls directly on a small statue. A figure is draped over the altar. This room seems as though nothing has disturbed it in centuries, and that nothing ever could.
So are there any like irregularities to the wall on the inside that I could attach the hook to?
Yeah, absolutely. Hell, you could hook it onto the altar if you want. Although you might want to know what that figure is that's draped over it.
Yeah, that's a bit. I don't want to damage the altar. So if the wall is just way too smooth, I would actually pull out of my pack, because I have one, a miner's pick. Make
Perfect.
a small hole on the wall, secure the hook, and just yell over to the other side for them to make their way in. And then I would just caressing my pipe with no tobacco in it, I would approach the altar and the statue and take a look.
Okay, so you're looking at the figure?
Yep.
Yep. It's it's a skeletal remains anyway. Looks like it was dressed kind of like some kind of priest. You would see on the altar an artifact, a small carving of the purest silver, 12 inches tall and 6 inches across. Does it say what this actual icon is, what it looks like? Oh, it is the statue itself. Sorry. Yeah, it's the statue. Also, on the altar, beside the icon, you see a large tome.
So the statue is the statue of the remains of a person, like a skeleton?
No. The skeleton is there clutching onto the statue.
Okay.
But
What does the
it looks like they
statue
died
depict?
right there. What does the statue look like? That's a very good... Doesn't tell me. Hold on a second. Sorry. Apologies for this. I just want to look and see if there's a description for it in another section of the book, because it doesn't really describe. It just says it's a small silver statue. Here we go. Treasures and tomes. Is this the one new? Is that?
While I'm doing this, of course, you guys can start coming in if you should like to.
Yeah, it's raining.
Yeah, while they're climbing over, let me just go back. There is nothing, no further description of it later on in the book. So let me just see if there's anything else here. Small statue. It does say it's just a statue of a man. I will say simply a man dressed in regal-looking clothing.
And it looks like whoever, like the skeleton, is like the prostrate remains of a person holding onto the statue.
Well, kind of. He's just like laying across the altar there, holding on the statue. And it looks like he died right there a long, long time ago.
If I look at the base of the statue, does it look like it's actually attached to the altar, or is it laying on it?
Nope. You'd even notice it's in the skeletal hand. It's kind of leaning up a bit, so one edge is up off the altar.
Can I tell? I mean, this is a skeleton, like bare bones, no meat, no skin. Like, how old do the remains look, basically?
Give me a wisdom roll.
I failed by 2.
Really old. It looks like it could possibly fall apart if you were to touch it. Also, I should point out that the ceiling in this room is so high that you can't see. You can't see the ceiling currently.
Dead man in here. Silver statue as well.
So did I have enough time to actually get in by now?
Yep, you could be getting in by now. Absolutely. Sorry to keep you waiting.
And Torgal, you haven't touched the statue, right?
No, I've just looked at it.
So Cuthbert, his eyes kind of light up, having just lost all of his wealth and spent all of it right before coming here. When he sees the statue, and he motions like he's gonna like grab it, but he kind of looks at the party before he does it.
Who else came in after Cuthbert? All of you, I presume, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yep.
So you see him kind of reaching for the statue and looking over at you. Cautiously and hesitating.
I mean, it's not a good thing to take from the dead.
Are you saying that out loud?
Yes, but didn't they say something about some sort of weapon in the chapel, right?
A symbol of... No, wait. As Ada goes into her mind palace to remember what we were supposed to find here. I suppose there was supposed to be the victor's card here, if I remember her reading properly. Power and strength. But is supposed to be with the brother of Strahd. I can't really imagine that he would. Well, maybe he would. He is, from all accounts, a horrid person, but just letting his... This doesn't look like a prince, she says, like kind of like gesturing towards the body.
You said this card described the part that would make the weapon mightier.
Corinne, do me a
Yeah,
favor and
yeah.
roll your own wisdom or your own intelligence.
Oh, intelligence?
Not your own, your character's own. Yeah.
Man, intelligence though?
Okay, roll wisdom. I'll give you wisdom.
Cool. Yeah, 4. It would have been
Your
fine
wisdom
either
tells
way.
you that you're not remembering something right. You got something wrong here.
Yeah, I don't think.
Hold
But
on.
regardless, there's a skeletal figure dressed in some kind of robes, leaning across the altar, holding the statue in one hand, and there's a big, large, thick book beside it.
I'd like to examine the altar itself.
With that low of a roll, do I have a sense of what I'm actually supposed to be remembering?
Roll your intelligence.
Okay. Nope, I'm going to fail that one with a 20.
No, you can't remember.
I can't remember. I don't think I'm remembering things right. Does
You
anyone
said
else?
something about the brother, and then you're thinking, no, that doesn't make sense. That wasn't here.
No. No.
Hold on.
Oh, wait, hold on. Amid the ruins of the supplicants, there's supposed to be knowledge. It's the book.
Ding,
So
ding,
you're trying
ding,
to tell
ding,
me
ding,
I
ding.
can't have this statue here to kind of
If you're
recoup
that-
some.
And Ada will toss him the pouch of silver she got from Steve. It's like, I was going to split that with everyone later, but if you're going to endanger everyone by just take that, and it's the book. We need the book.
Torgal will approach the altar.
What are you going to do when you approach the altar, Torval?
Can I examine the altar itself? Like, can I see if I can tell if it's like hollow or solid, or if there's anything about it that doesn't meet the eye?
Secret doors and stuff, things like that. Roll architecture.
That's a success.
It's solid. No hinges, no wheat rollers, nothing.
The altar is a solid piece of rock. So, other than the stained glass, which I imagine is considered very beautiful by the likes of humans, there is the book and the dead man. Looks like maybe a priest, huh?
And there's a crash of thunder and a flash of lightning, and it starts to downpour outside. Some of the rain coming even into the room through the broken windows.
See, Ada, it's just a slab of what, marble or something like that.
Did it say what it was made out of, the altar?
Just a stone slab, and he continues to reach for the
Just stone.
For the statue.
You travel with two people who have clearly used the powers of God and miracles that we bring forth every day, and you travel with a old washerwoman who really likes fresh baked bread, who can do all sorts of mystical arcane things, and you're going to tell me that in all of this place with the weird mists and the bats and all the googly business going on, you're going to tell me that can only be a stone slab.
Hey, you can read, right?
And I look at Ada.
Yeah, yes.
What do you say we take a look at this book, then?
Yeah, I'm certain, I think, well, less certain the more I talk, but I'm pretty sure that we're here for the book, and I don't think we should be greedy. And she'll head over with Torgal towards the book with giving
Sure.
Cuthbert kind of
Are you going to grab the statue
this
anyway?
fellow is clearly
Cuthbert?
dead. No danger to you at all.
Whenever she kind of acts, whenever she's acting kind of weird about me grabbing it, I pull out a a tissue, and what are they called? A
handkerchief, yeah,
out of my pocket and throw it over the statue, and then grab it with the handkerchief.
As you do so, and this is as Ada's approaching the book, getting close to the altar herself, and you toss your handkerchief over the statue and grab it away from the bony grip of this skeletal figure. The fingers like break and collapse into dust, and the whole figure falls kind of off the altar and onto the floor with a clatter and broken bones within the robe, making quite a loud noise, maybe giving you a little bit of a start, but nothing else happens.
And I look at Ada like smugly with the
course you can.
figurine in my hand and kind of tuck it away and kind of look over their shoulder as they're looking at the book.
Sure you can.
Hey, Alistair, would you say this fellow was a priest? What kind of robe is this?
Alistair has been kind of hanging back a little bit, almost uncomfortable to be standing in this church in a place that seems so disconnected from everything he knows about God. And he kind of finally hesitantly wanders forward and takes a look at the robes. Is there anything that I can tell from them?
Yes, they are not holy robes. They are unholy robes. This is some kind of an evil cleric. Or was some kind of an evil cleric once upon a time.
This man lies dead by his own doing. He turned against God. These robes denote a foul order.
Ada will give Cuthbert the stink eye.
And whenever Ada gives him the stink eye, he kind of like takes the statue and kind of like goes like ooh in front of her with it.
Yeah, okay. And Ada, you gonna look at the book?
Yep.
Okay. This is an ancient work. It is bound in thick black leather cover, has brass hinges and fastenings. You wish to open it?
Are there any symbols or iconography on the outside of it that look similar to the foul priest's robes?
No.
Okay. And then yes, I'll open it.
Okay. So you, as you open it, you realize the pages of parchment are made of parchment, and they're very brittle. And there is a name on the inside. Roll percentiles.
Ooh, percentiles. Oh, we're gonna do. Like, which D10s am I gonna use? I'm gonna use these D10s. Ooh, that's a 9.
Nice. It says the Tome of Strahd von Zerovich. I think that's his name. Hope I got that right.
Strahd von Starovich.
Yep. Stains and age have made most of the work illegible, but as you're flipping through it, there are some sections that you may be able to read. It's written in a curious shorthand. Go ahead and give me... well, no, I'll give you the first one for free since you rolled a 9. The first paragraph that you find that you're able to read says, I am the ancient. I am the land. My beginnings are lost in the darkness of the past. I was the warrior. I was good and just. I thundered across the land like the wrath of a just God. But the war years and the killing years wore down my soul as the wind wears stone into sand. Give me another percentile roll.
Okay. 40.
The
mean,
next...
poetic, but I would say a bit self-indulgent.
The next paragraph you're not going to be able to make out unless you have some kind of a spell you can employ, but... Is there... Do you have a spell like for comprehend languages or something? You just can't quite understand some of the shorthand, maybe?
No. Nope.
Peace probably does. Damn it.
Yeah, she probably does.
But I don't know if she does or not, and she's gone despondent.
Maybe she doesn't like lightning, thunderstorms.
Maybe not. Give me another percentile.
Okay. Let's do a different one. Since that one failed me. Oh, that's cocked. 40 again. Damn.
No.
Damn.
Give me another one.
Oh, one more? Okay, cool.
Yeah, you get to roll for each paragraph.
43. Damn, these fours.
Okay. Roll the next one.
Fuck. $78.
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Roll the next one.
I'm gonna go back to these. Let's see, this is the problem of having so many dice. 27.
This one you can make out. Paragraph 6. It says, "With words, she called me brother. But when I looked into her eyes, they reflected another name, death. It was the death of the age that she saw in me. She loved her youth and enjoyed it, but I had squandered mine." Roll for the next paragraph.
36.
Nope.
Back. Okay. 16.
I made a pact with death, a pact of blood. On the day of the wedding, I killed Sergei, my brother. My pact was sealed with his blood. Roll for the next paragraph.
Ugh. 30. Where did that dice go? 33.
Nope. Roll for the next one.
12.
It was 1,000 feet through the mists. No trace of her was ever found. Not even I know her final fate. Roll for the next one.
Definitely gonna have to watch this recording over again. Thanks, Ian. That one is a 24.
Arrows from the castle guards pierced me to my soul, but I did not die, nor did I live. I became undead forever. Roll for the next paragraph.
80 something.
Roll for the next one. This is the penultimate paragraph.
The penultimate paragraph. Another 83.
Okay, and roll for the last one.
Ooh, 1.
I now reside far below Ravenloft. I live among the dead and sleep beneath the very stones of this hollow castle of despair. I shall seal shut the walls of the stairs that none may disturb me.
That is good to know. Obviously, Ada was reading out loud when she could make out the stuff.
Seal up the stairs. Well, it's a good thing I brought the pick.
If anyone can find a stoned up doorway, it'll be our resident dwarf, Ada says with a smile.
By the way, Ian, I imagine this is a Christian church.
Yeah, it was a Christian chapel at one point in time.
Where is the sagrarium? That's where they keep the consecrated bread and the wine.
I suppose it would be part of the altar here.
So can I find anything in there of note?
You'll find... Well, let's see. Roll your luck.
What would luck be?
What I do for this game, and if I want somebody to roll luck, I'd say roll d20 and compare it to your lowest statistic.
Okay, so wisdom roll then, and I fail by 3.
Yeah, you find a stain where the vial has been knocked over and the wine has spilt out, and yeah, there's no remains of the bread these hundreds of years later. The I guess it would be more like, what would it be? What would you call that? The vial, or the kind of
chalice?
Yeah, the chalice that held the wine is made of bronze. Say bronze.
Is there a poly water near the front of the chapel?
You can walk over there if you want, past the debris, and have a look.
I shall.
They are filled with
Couple
nothing
of
but dust, dried
slightly valuable
dried
Cuthbert.
centuries ago.
Yeah. Okay. Worth a check.
I would like to admire the stained glass. Is there anything, like, what kind of figures does it depict?
Nothing spectacular. What remains? Most of them are broken anyway. Just typical old Christian iconography. Perhaps the thought crosses your mind that maybe Strahd himself broke these windows, no longer wishing to look at it after losing his way.
I'd like to give the walls and floor a once over, see if I find anything hidden.
Okay. Yeah.
I was gonna look while he was doing that too. I was gonna look amongst the debris.
That's architecture, then I succeed.
Mm-hmm. And what's your movement speed?
So it's let's see, my explore per turn is 30 feet. Although I could lay down my crossbow and that would make it 60. So 60 feet.
60 feet. So it'll take you about an hour if you want to search this whole area.
Well, secret passages have been mentioned, so I will start at least while everybody else is deliberating.
Well, there are alcoves on the western wall. Let me see here. So the north chapel alcove, they're on each side of the doors that lead out of this chapel, which are closed at the moment. The north chapel alcove is an arched room which opens into a vast chamber to the east. Oh, no, that's where you are. You're in the vast chamber to the east, sorry. Rising staircase to the west. Let me see.
In the interest
here.
of time, I will lay my shield down as well.
Within the dark confines of the alcove lurk 8-foot tall shadowy figures. Their stone forms show mighty muscled arms and legs, and a black shadow falls across the features of their faces.
Is there anything else within like the chapel itself? You said there's like lots of debris.
There's another alcove down to the south, on the south side of the doors here. You want to check that out while he's looking at the north?
Yes.
So let's see here. So again, this goes to a huge circular staircase to the west. The alcoves in the north and south of this little area anyway also have 8-foot tall shadowy figures lurking in the cold, dark confines, and much the same as the others. Their muscular stone arms. Oh, these ones, sorry, their muscular stone arms hold bright blades, and they also have black shadows falling across the features of their face.
What did
So in the north alcove, you have a stairway heading up to the west. In the south alcove, you have a spiral staircase heading up.
And the statues are the same other than like the ones on one side have blades and the other ones don't?
Actually, sorry, the circular one goes up and down, in fact. What about the blades?
Statues are the same other than the blades? One set has
pretty
blades,
much.
the other one doesn't?
Yep.
Okay.
Both of the statues in your southern alcove have blades. The statues in the alcove where Torgal was looking do not. And then, of course, there is double doors leading west out of this room as well.
Do those double doors look like the actual entrance to this place?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly.
And what time of day is it now?
See, by the time all this has happened, it's probably at least 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but I mean, it's getting dark. It's quite dark. It'll be dark in a couple of hours anyway, but also, with the storm and everything outside, it's pretty dark in here. It's very shadowy.
There's some stairs over here.
Stairs over here on this side too.
Should we let Steve decide again?
I was just going to suggest the same thing.
It depends on whether we want to go up or down.
The stairs to the south go up and down.
Mm,
And Arthur says, what about these doors over here?
those probably just lead outside the way we should have come in, but we missed them on our way in.
Don't you think we should check out the rest of this level before we go up or down?
A great idea, boy. Why don't you go over there and open the door yourself?
Quiet. The boy has a point. Don't
Hmm.
chide him just because he showed more wisdom than us. But if I will say, when we do decide to go up and down, if the Devil Strahd is down, we may want to look at the rest of the castle first.
Ada nods in agreement.
Yes.
But then Alistair will walk over to the door that Arthur was pointing out. And see if it's locked.
It's not. Door's open.
Yeah, I'll open it and look through.
See a long, dusty hall leading eastward into the darkness you can't see because there's no light. You do see some statues on both sides of the hallway, though, as far as you can see.
Can anyone supply me with a lantern? I seem to have lost mine on Samuel.
Oh, I would love to, Cuthbert, but I seem to have lost mine on our wagon.
Yes. What is
I don't have a torch or lantern, but I do have a large candle and the means to light it. If there's no other choice, then I'll let you have it.
I have a lantern in my saddlebags, so I'll just have to retrieve it.
Okay.
So,
Your horse is still out in the courtyard, yeah?
Yeah, so I guess we're either going to have to find the actual entrance, or I'll climb back over the window.
Well, I mean, if you want to find the actual entrance, you're going to have to walk down this dark hallway.
Right. Back to the window then, and I'll.
You might want to take this opportunity to retrieve anything you may wish to take from the horses.
Yes, I shall do that.
Arthur is willing to help carry stuff, of course.
Perfect. Good lad. Yes, so I'm going to grab my all my various ammos, and I think I'll take my. I think I already gave him the extra pistol, so yeah, I'll take the lantern and lamp oil and the holy water and the healing potion as well. And actually, I'll grab the arquebus, and I will hand that to Cuthbert once I get inside.
Nice.
Thank you, my good man.
So the arquebus is like a...
Maybe more useful in your hands than mine.
Is that a flintlock arquebus, or is it matchlock, wheel lock?
It was. It was one of the more expensive ones. Let me just double check.
Probably flintlock.
I'll know.
Probably flintlock. I don't think you could afford a wheel lock.
No, yeah, it was flintlock.
It was probably a flintlock. Yeah, good.
Yep, because I wanted the one that would have the reload time.
Yep, that's the flintlock. All right, cool. So you now have a flintlock rifle.
At this point, I'll retrieve my grappling hook and the rope.
Mm-hmm.
And Alistair will say to Cuthbert,
be careful with that. It's currently loaded with scattershot.
What about the dogs? Should we lift them up through the windows too, or leave them out here with the horses?
Let's bring one of the dogs. The other two can watch the horses. Balthazar. Bring him along. He's the smartest I've found.
So Cain and Abel are staying outside. You're bringing Balthazar along, and you're leaving Melchior and Gaspar outside. Okay, very good. So now you have your lantern, you have your arquebus, your grappling hooks, etc. And you're ready to open the door. Well, no, you've already opened the doors, but you're ready to proceed down the hall, which, as I said, now that you have the lit lantern and look down, you see this long, dusty hall leading westward into the dark heart of Ravenloft. Statues line the hallway on both sides. The hall itself, I can tell you, is 70 feet long and 20 feet wide.
Send the dog down first.
There is a closed set of double doors at the other end.
Yeah, so he will do that and urge Balthazar on.
Okay. Yep.
Are there
So
any sorry, before we continue on, are there any like unlit torches or sconces or any other source of light? Because I do have a tinderbox on me. I just don't have anything to light with it.
roll your luck.
Mm. 5, which beats my strength by 1.
You find 3 torches unburned.
I will gather those up and hand them out to some people who don't have light.
I think we should use them one at a time.
Yeah, I have the means to light it. It's just so if we need extra, we have these. She says brightly, "The Lord provides."
Very good. Balthazar makes it down to the end of the hall and stands for the door, barks once, and sits there panting.
Yeah, so whenever the dog makes it down the hallway with no problem, I think, well, I guess I'd follow whoever has the light, though. So.
Alistair will carry his lantern in one hand and a pistol in the other.
Yeah, Ada's gonna have like her mace out in one hand, since this is supposed to be the castle of the demon Strahd. She's gonna have her weapon in hand, and then one hand on her around her, like clutching her crucifix tightly enough to leave marks in her palm. But she's got both ready.
And Alistair, you gonna open the door?
Yes.
Doors? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
He'll open it very carefully with his, the lantern and pistol both raised.
The doors swing into the room ahead of you, creaking as they do so. Cobwebs hang from dust-covered columns of this great hall, illuminated by torches fluttering in iron sconces. The dust and webs cast strange moving shadows across the faces of stone gargoyles squatting motionlessly on the rim of the domed ceiling. Cracked and faded ceiling frescoes are covered by centuries of decay. These doors actually are bronze. Sorry, I didn't read that before. But that they creaked. Yeah, anyway, yeah. These creaking doors are made of bronze. To the north, which would be your right from the direction you're facing, a wide staircase climbs into darkness. All the while, sad and majestic organ tones float about you from a lit hallway to the south. And across the great hall, there is another pair of double doors, which you would have to guess must be leading towards the front of the castle from where you now stand. And this great hall is it's kind of octagonal in shape. It's about 40 feet by 40 feet in dimensions. Well, actually, and the hall to the south is open. There is no door or anything leading to it, so I suppose you'd be able to kind of see into that a bit too. It looks like a vaulted hall, and let me make sure I'm reading this right. Yep, you can see more torchlight fluttering against the walls of that vaulted hall. Do you want to go and inspect it more? Or do you want to check the stairs to your right, which head up the big wide staircase, or the closed doors ahead of you, which lead towards the front of the castle? The organ music seems to be coming. The organ music seems to be coming from the south.
Music usually means a player.
Yes, but do we want to meet any players in this castle?
If we don't want to meet anybody, then why did we come here?
Agreed. If the music is coming from Strahd, it may be wise to either try to get the drop on him or avoid it until we're better prepared.
Strahd is under the castle by his own hand.
Well, I must say, someone had to leave that book in the altar. So it appears he's not trapped under the castle.
And there's been all of those people going missing too, right? Wasn't there people going missing?
And
he's assaulted Irina several times.
exactly.
Yeah, so he doesn't stay in the bottom of the castle. That just might be where
He makes his home.
yes, it might is we know do we know anything about vampires, like lore wise? Like, do we know, like, hey, they got a place where they go underground whenever they're like, oh no, I'm hurt?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
No,
I just
don't
don't
think you
think
know
that-
anything more about vampires and what people have told you since you got here, or
Yeah.
So since I don't have my own light or anything like that, I'd like to, with my pistol and saber out, walk towards the music.
okay. So as you kind of walk down into that hall, and this hall is about 20 feet wide and 30 feet in length from north to south. To the east, a dark and forbidding hallway runs into darkness. Beside that opening, a suit of armor, oiled and glistening, stands at attention in a shallow alcove. To the west, large double doors hang slightly open, a steady bright light escaping through the opening. Swells of organ music come from behind these doors, spilling their medley of power and defeat into the hall.
So is any of the torches in the sconces that I can see right now to grab my own source of, or to maybe light one of my torches or something like that?
Yeah, you can grab one.
I did
Yeah.
say that I would have given out some to people who needed them, so you might have one of the ones that Ada gave you.
You can grab
as
one of
not
the-
to-
You can
Yeah,
grab
so
one
as
off
not
one of
to
the
waste
sconces on the
one.
wall.
Yeah, so it's not to waste one of the ones that they're the only one that I have on me. I'll grab one of the ones off the wall and go towards the sound.
Opening the doors further so you can walk in and see.
Yeah, I want to peek first, of course. I don't want to just bust open the doors, but I want to see if I can see anything whenever I take a peek in.
This is a magnificent 40-foot square room, brilliantly lit by 3 massive crystal chandeliers. Pillars of stone stand against dull white marble walls, supporting the ceiling. In the center of the room, a long, heavy table stands covered with a fine white satin cloth. The table is laden with delectable foods of every type: roasted beast basted in savory sauce, roots and herbs of every taste, and sweet fruits and vegetables. Places are set for each of you with fine, delicate china and silver. At each place there is a crystal goblet filled with an amber liquid whose delicate fragrance tantalizes your senses even from the door. At the center of the far west wall, which is the farthest from you, between floor to ceiling length mirrors, stands a massive organ. Its pipes blare out a thunderous melody that offers in its tone greatness and despair. Seated before the keys, its back towards you, a single caped figure pounds the keys in raptured ecstasy. The figure suddenly stops, and a deep silence falls over the dining hall. He rises and turns towards you. I think that's where we'll leave off this session. And we'll pick it up in 2 weeks' time. And you can
Yeah, that was
No!
too good of a spot not to end it.
Yeah.
and you
Like,
can
I want to
brain
keep
your-
going.
I just love, hey, should we do this thing? Cuthbert, no. And then Cuthbert's just like, Cuthbert, yes.
Yep, I'm doing it. Yep.
God damn
Love
it, Cuthbert.
All right. I am going to end the recording. So thanks for playing. Too bad Caius couldn't make it back. I hope his system is all right. Hopefully he'll be able to get it sorted out before we play again in 2 weeks' time, and the current situation will snap peace out of whatever kind of despondency she's fallen into.
Hey, maybe she recognizes the player.
Maybe
the guy
she
who
does.
taught her
It's
magic.
It's an old lover.
Yeah, exactly. It's the guy who taught her magic that told her that he was Satan.
Thanks for playing. Hey, you're in the castle now. So yeah, I'll end the recording. We'll do this again though, 2 weeks' time, same place.